why is Lovren still a Liverpool player? Why is he still starting in a Champions League game?
I think it just tells you how bad the rest of them are. You know, if how bad can Klavan be? How bad must he be?
Lovren was good at Southampton. He was a great defender.
Yeah, and I would agree with it.
What happens?
Well, how long ago was
changes?
That? How long ago was that? Are we talking
3 years ago?
3 years ago, right? And I can assure you, for 3 years, he has been making mistake after mistake after mistake, and Liverpool have paid the price almost all the time.
This is what I don't understand. It's difficult enough when you've got really good defenders across the back four and a good goalkeeper to make regular changes and have it working and been pretty seamless. When you've got a problem in the full-back areas and a problem in the centre-half areas and your goalkeepers are not convincing and you continually change, like he has with Mignolet and Karius and Klavan and Lovren and Trent Arnold and Gomez and the list goes on, how the hell are you supposed to get a partnership that's going to get some solidity for half a dozen games or more if you keep changing? How? It's impossible.
To your point, Craig, this is where I say, okay, it's easy to see the mistake by Lovren. It's easy. It's right there in front of you, and there's no question that's an individual mistake. But when you see that this team continues to concede goals right down the middle, I mean, right down the middle of the field, then you have to ask a question. How is this not addressed on training? How is this not a point of emphasis so that you see an improvement? And the reason that we know it hasn't been worked on is because you don't see an improvement. When you lose 5-0 over the weekend, and a lot of the goals came right down the middle, and then you see the second goal that Sevilla scored today, you don't see an improvement. You don't see a behavior pattern other than the fact that you continue to make the same mistake. So while, again, I go back, it's easy to see the Lovren mistake, it's also easy to see that this team lacks coaching in the defensive half.
Stevie was saying for most of the summer, well, the last 6 weeks, he was adamant that the Fenway Group had to make a stance on this Barcelona Coutinho transfer. Millions. Way too much than what he's worth. But what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of sitting tight and fixing your bayonet up and fighting Barcelona off if you're doing nothing at a key area in the field where you've had a problem for the last 2 or 3 years, at least? What's the point?
And it's okay for people to say, well, they're scoring 3 and only letting 2 in, but you can't continue to do that. You can't continue to get away with it.
Not at this level.
And the other thing that's happening is the crowd. You know, the crowd go from being vibrant and behind the team and excited to panicking. And that just makes its way onto the field. And then you end up with what happened today. Liverpool almost threw it away.
You just said that the team was hanging on. The team can also feel it that we're going to give a chance here.
Right.
We're not good enough to just see it out. There's something that's going to happen, and somebody's going to have to come up with a save or a last-ditch effort or a tackle and somehow save us from what is inevitable, and that is giving up another goal.
Let's bring Sid Lowe, shall we, into the show. Sid, from Sevilla's perspective, they'll take a point.
Oh, absolutely. And not just because it's Liverpool, but also because, of course, the nature of the group and the assumption that these two teams will be the two teams that are most likely to finish first and second, and that this was Liverpool away. So there's a feeling that when they get to play Liverpool at the Sánchez Pizjuán, they'll be in an advantageous position. They will be in a position where they may even be able to take first place in the group, not just get through it. And, of course, because of the recognition of the fact that for at least 75 or 80 minutes of this game, Liverpool were significantly the better side. I think once Sevilla had got that equaliser, it then did feel to me like Liverpool's kind of wheels fell off a little bit and they didn't really create a huge amount. And then, of course, as Stevie said at the very start, Sevilla could have won it at the end. But there's absolutely no doubt that the Spanish perspective on this is that Sevilla got away with it. Sevilla came out of Anfield alive. And the bottom line is they've come away from Liverpool with a very good result indeed.
Sid, I mentioned before, obviously, Lovren was good at Southampton. Alberto Moreno was good at Sevilla as well.
Well, I thought he was quite good tonight, wasn't he? At least in an attacking sense, he had a big impact on the game. And I suppose this comes back to something that I'm not going to say it baffles us, because obviously it's not quite as simplistic as that. But time and time again, you have players that in certain environments, in certain styles of team, in certain types of leagues, in certain types of games, can perform brilliantly, and then put in a different environment, it just doesn't happen for them. Perhaps because their reference points are changed within the game, perhaps because the nature of the game exposes the weaknesses that weren't seen previously. And you know, it's also true that Alberto Moreno, when he was at Sevilla, everybody knew that this was a player that was very, very very exciting as an attacking player, but that put under pressure might make mistakes defensively. I still think there's a footballer in there still that Liverpool can make good use of.